let's face it, relaxing and having fun on Saturday and Sunday is just not enough to really feel like we have work-life balance, at least in the United States. The reason why is because on Sunday, you're catching up, doing all of the things that you need to do to get set and ready for the week. And then on Saturday, you're so tired from the week before, you just want to relax. It's hard to really inject fun or feel like you're really living life. I was like this, and I got tired of seeing the months just fly by. I wasn't really getting enough out of life that I really wanted. So in this video, we're going to talk about 5 different ways that you can really incorporate more life into your work-life balance and feel happier overall. I'm Mani J. I'm a board-certified dermatologist and skin cancer surgeon in California. I love efficiency, productivity, and work-life balance. On my channel, I share lifestyle hacks that incorporate efficiency into our day-to-day lives so that we can make life easier and ultimately make more time for stuff that's fun, that we actually enjoy. The first thing that's been the biggest ROI positive in order for me to be able to free up time to actually do more things that improve my work-life balance is hands down stopping watching Netflix and also minimizing my scrolling. Obviously, I'm filming social media, so I do go on social media, YouTube, Instagram, that kind of thing, but I try to minimize it, and I definitely try to cut out Netflix because honestly, there's hours and hours of the day that can fly by, and it's just a waste of time that you really could have been doing other things that'll make you truly feel more fulfilled. My opinion about Netflix is that it's really just cheap dopamine. Like, it's just cheap dopamine that your brain is watching this TV show, you're getting like instant gratification, you're getting this dopamine hit like in the short term, but then when you look back on that time that you have used, like let's say it's like 3 hours a night or 2 hours a night that you watch TV, when you look back at that time, you're like, what did I get out of that? Like, I didn't really get that much out of it. You'll see later on in my video, there's so many other things that you could be doing with that time that's gonna make you feel more fulfilled and feel like you're truly living a richer life. The second way to incorporate more work-life balance into our lives is to prioritize socializing. So there's this book that I read called The Blue Zones of Happiness, which basically looks at all the different countries in the world that are the happiest and studies what they do, and then summarizes all the things that they do that we can then adopt so that we can improve our happiness. So a huge thing in this book that Dan Buettner talks about is with socializing with our friends and family. A lot of the happiest countries in the world, like Costa Rica, for example, is they have this huge sense of community where you can go to your neighbor's house, you can chit chat, you can come over like unannounced. In America, that doesn't happen. And so because that doesn't happen, we kind of feel more isolated and not as happy. In the book, crazily, he says that the majority of countries that are the happiest, the average number of hours that these people socialize in the day is 3 to 6 hours in the day. If you're from America, that sounds nuts because that's a really long time during the day to be able to socialize. But one of the things that he talks about is socializing with coworkers count. So if you like socializing with your coworkers, it's basically 3 to 6 hours of spending time with people and company that you enjoy. So that's how they get a lot of that time. But even still, like my Costa Rica example, people are kind of like a community and they'll stop by each other's houses and they'll talk to each other, and that really helps with the socialization aspect. In America, if you're from here, you know it's completely the polar opposite. Everyone's really isolated and no one comes over without calling first. You have to give like an advanced notice, and so all of this makes it so that our country and our population is less happy overall. So one thing that I've been doing is really prioritizing social relationships. One of my goals at the beginning of the year was to make new friends. A lot of my friends have moved away or gotten busy with kids. And so because of that, I was like, okay, I want to try to make some more new friends this year. And it's hard. I'm in my 30s, I'm working. When you're an adult, it's truly hard to make friends because you don't just organically meet people, and if you do, it's really hard to maintain friendships. If you're interested, I feel like I really hacked the way of how to make friends as an adult, because this year I've made like 4 or 5 new friends that are actually friends that I get together with on a regular basis. I feel like they're true, genuine friends. If you're interested and you want to know how to make friends as an adult, I made a YouTube video about that, so I'm going to link that here so that you can watch it if you're interested. So the third way to improve your work-life balance is is what I call pay yourself first. A lot of personal finance people talk about this in terms of money. Whenever you get a paycheck, you should pay yourself first, and you should immediately take like 20% of that and put that into your savings account or invest it so that way it's working for you. All of your daily expenses after that are going to come out of that 80%. That's kind of that paying yourself first. So I use that same concept, but with time. And also I'm trying this year to do that with health too. I'm not the most gung-ho exercise lover, but I'm trying to incorporate that, or at least some sort of exercise that I'm going to do consistently into my life. And what I mean by pay yourself first when it comes to work-life balance is do the activities and do the things that you've been wanting to do for yourself first. For example, some of the goals that I wrote out at the beginning of the year that I want to incorporate into my life more are doing outside walks, like walks in nature or walks where I'm able to go outside, like even if it's short, at least like 10 minutes, but like once a day. And then the second thing is to meditate. I've really not been good at the meditating thing, but with this whole pay yourself first concept, it's kind of like you wake up in the morning, you wake up maybe like 20 minutes earlier so that you can do 10-15 minutes of exercise that you want to do, and then like the 5-10 minutes of meditation. So that's kind of the concept of pay yourself first. I find whenever I do that, I feel so much better because I feel like I am doing things for myself that I've always wanted to do, and I'm not neglecting myself, because we have a tendency in this day and age of being so busy that we do all of the things that other people are asking of us. So all of the things that we're supposed to do for work, all of the things that our friends and family are asking of us, and then the things that we actually want to do, we're not doing, and that just kind of gets neglected and pushed to the side, and then it never ends up happening. So when you wake up first thing in the morning, think pay yourself first so that you can incorporate those things into your day first thing that you actually want to do. And then all of the energy after that for the rest of the day can be dedicated to your work, to your family, to your friends. Okay, so number 4 habit that can inject more life into your work-life balance is having a personal side project, or having multiple personal side projects that you don't do because they bring you money or because someone's asking you to do it, but because you truly have an interest in that and want to do it. So this is most commonly a hobby or something that you've just always wanted to learn or do. So for example, mine are to be fluent in Spanish and to be a good golfer. I feel like I have to kind of pick one thing at a time, and you might find that that also works best for you too. Right now I'm working on the Spanish one, so I'm pretty decent at Spanish just from learning it at school and then practicing speaking it at work. I try to become more fluent in Spanish this year by kind of incorporating little things. So I only listen to music in Spanish, or at least I try to have majority of the music that I listen to be Spanish, so that way my ears are used to hearing Spanish, and also it kind of keeps my comprehension up. And also it's just amazing, really good music. That's kind of my personal project that I'm working on right now. I also signed up for pickleball lessons for the first time this weekend. We'll see how they go. If you're interested in how they go, I'll probably post on my Instagram about that, so make sure you follow me on Instagram so that you can kind of see what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. Long story short, have these personal projects or hobbies that you want to get to, and have kind of 1 or 2 at a time that you're focusing on, so that you're doing things that, again, you truly want to do and that interest you. If you're thinking like, oh my gosh, like how do I have time for a hobby right now? I barely have time for anything else. Refer back to my first habit, which is stop watching Netflix and TV and stop scrolling as much, and you'll find that you have more time to really dedicate to your actual life. Also, I find that you need to schedule these things in to the day. One of the things I'm going to make a video about is how to schedule this into the day and how to like fit all of this in your day, because if you don't intentionally plan, it's never going to happen. That video is going to be coming up. I'm going to link it here. The 5th and final habit of how to inject more life into work-life balance is take advantage of the small little chunks of time that we have and do something meaningful in those. What I'm talking about is the 10-15 minutes that we have in between certain things. It's our default to get on our phone and scroll during that 10 or 15 minutes, but I want to challenge you to try to do something else with those 10 minutes that's more productive. So maybe that means you have a Kindle. One of your goals is that you want to read a little bit more So maybe you bring your Kindle and you read during that 10 or 15 minutes. Or maybe you're like me and you're trying to, take a crack at social media and you make a social media post during that 10 or 15 minutes. or you take that 10-15 minutes and you go outside and you go on a walk, or you play with your dog. Do something in those 10 minutes other than just scrolling and being on your phone. And I find that that also injects just more life into our day-to-day and makes us feel a lot better overall at the end of the day when we're in bed and we're thinking about the day that we had. So to summarize all of our habits, number 1, it's to decrease the amount of time that we spend watching TV. Number 2 is prioritizing socializing in our lives. Number 3 is paying ourselves first by prioritizing habits we've been wanting to do. Number 4 is to have passion projects on the side that you can dedicate time to working on. And then number 5 is to make use of small increments that we have during the day, not by scrolling, but by doing something else that's more productive, that makes you ultimately feel better, like going on walks or reading a book. Once I started incorporating these things into my life personally, I've noticed a huge difference whenever I reflect back on like the prior month and say, okay, like how did I feel like this month went? I look back at my camera roll and I see all the cool things that I've done, and it really makes me feel like I'm living life more fully. If you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe and share with your friends so that they can also get on board too. With that, I'm Moni J. I'm a dermatologist and a skin cancer surgeon who loves efficiency and lifestyle hacks. Subscribe if you found this video helpful, and make sure you share with your friends and family. Follow me on Instagram at moni.j, spelled Jaye.md, and see you in the next one.